What's going on, DBS community? Elmo Gonzalez here at the local store for DBS, Jacksonville Game Center. I'm here with my man, Hardesty, fresh off his top 8 performance at this year's Nationals in Chicago. What is going on, Dehan?
Not much, feeling good, even though only top 8. Marcel finally broke the curse on me.
That's what I heard. Actually, I watched it. You know, it's a good game.
It was a fun game, so I can't be mad at the loss.
Yeah, man. Eventually it had to happen. So, but yeah, you know, it was a good tournament. Obviously, you being the JANEMBA man that you are, what deck did you play this weekend?
Well, contrary to popular belief, I played the JANEMBA. Yay! Shocker. I actually only played JANEMBA due to just being comfortable pick, and I couldn't figure out what to play, so I just had this in my backpack, and we went with it. Of course, I did do some tweaking and testing to what the build is now, and the build is significantly different than what everybody else is running. Most people are running on the red hype, and if you were running green, you were doing the old build that I had when I won Orlando. This new build is a different play style, and it was meant to try to counteract some of the meta decks in the format, except for Shenron. The red build is better against Shenron, but this is better against the decks that beat up on Shenron. So, ready to get into it.
All right, so we'll go and get to that deck profile.
All right. Starting off with the basics, the leader. We're playing the mill leader. Swing, draw 2. Mainly the main win con. We're just going to sit back and mill. Same thing, auto, swing, draw 2, and the best of negate. The auto negate. Just pitch a blue card, negate this card. Makes attacks awkward, and people always have to play around it and respect it. If not, you get punished. There's your leader. Starting off with the basics. You got 4 super combo. You can play any 4-life super combo. The 4 life is better than the sparking, since we do play Overwhelm in this situation, while also allowing us to take life early and have combo power early without having to neg our hand size too much. And since this is the green build, the Bant build of JANEMBA, we are playing the cells as the pseudo combo. Every build of JANEMBA, you do want to play at least a 4 of either red or the green pseudo combo, depending on which variation you want to lean towards. Now for the tournament, we did play 2 Westkais in the main. This card was good against U6, being able to stall off a little bit of pressure and their attacks, making their sequence awkward, while also making people not be able to combo monkeys aggressively towards me. So, and sometimes in games, I would not swing at their leader on turn 3 when they have 2 mana open for their Bardock to come into play, just so they wouldn't do it. Then on their turn, they would swing knowing that I'm not going to let them put their monkey into play, and then I would just bounce it back, basically negating their entire turn and stopping their leader from doing damage to me, which is all the deck is trying to do, is get to turn 4 while being able to awaken or have the ability to awaken or take free damage with the Piccolo on board. The other thing is the card actually has Barrier, which is relevant against Baby, and it always lets me have Bond active for the Piccolo, which you'll see in a minute. Both of them having Barrier makes this card, the Piccolo will always be online. So, the overall we played in the deck was the Bardock Awaken Instincts. I do believe if you're playing Frost Deadly Poisons or any number of a larger amount of extra cards, that it's better to have the cycle to help fix a clunky hand, or if you have too many 1Ks, and just dig towards the pieces you need. I had to use this a couple times to help try to find the Piccolo on turn 4, as that's the important part of the deck, is to find it by turn 4 and slam, and then run away with the game that way. For our mill package, we played 2 Reality Benders and 2 JANEMBA Agents of Destruction. Pretty standard right now. These 2 are the more important ones, and the Reality Bender allows you to do a Turbo Mill turn in the case that you combo off everybody on your board. Say they're at 8 cards in deck, so you can go 2 from the Reality, 2 from your leader, and then 3 from JANEMBA. You just take them down from 8 to 0 once they draw for turn. All that will cost you a total of 5 mana, or you can do it on turn 4 if you have a bean and no board with the Reality Bender. Everybody either loves or hates this card. It's not the best card in the deck, but it helps fix the unwinnable matchups, or gives you a better chance against some of the other plays, like bouncing back Gogeta 7s from killing you. After somebody commits too hard on a card, or like a whole sequence, you can punish them this way. You can bounce back Miras, anything like that. 4 mana is a little costly, so you have to be careful about how you use the card. But in the right situation, this card is a major blowout. Now we only played 3 of like a 2-drop counterplay in the main board of the JANEMBA the Trickster and the entire 65. The card is great. It's the most versatile of all of the counterplays that you can play in the deck for the 2 mana cost for the multi. Being able to gain the tempo while creating a body on board for my bond and stalling off an attack. That's essentially a negate that replaces itself that's going to start swinging my opponents to chip at them. The important thing, it gets around barrier or any boss monster, just put it in rest mode to try not to get hit by it. For our blue-yellow, we play 4 of the DBS. Just simple to charge. Worst case, you play it, it's just a boo, cycles itself, and it's 15 beater. And I think it's blue-yellow, so it's easy arrival fodder while just fixing our mana. Play 4 of the Bojack's Pirate's Pride. Just another negate, yellow arrival fodder, and a bond fodder. So it serves multiple purposes, and the best time to you just have to pick the best times to use them to where they're just not free picked off, or you can get maximum combo advantage off of them while accelerating our mill clock on our opponent's turn. Play 4 of the Bojack, Resident Agent of Destruction. You can mill out people in the middle of their attack step, ending the game there, making their attacks awkward by stopping an entire attack step, by able to combo and defend one attack while rivaling this to tap down another one, and him serving as another blocker. In the right situations, the entire turn sequence will be like 3 negates. Play 2 Frost Deadly Poison. You have to keep the blue-yellow or the multicolor ratio of your deck to about 10. That's about the right street number to be able to find a multicolor by turn 1 or 2. And having the Deadly Poison allows me to Bloodlust any cards without Deflect. Just initially stopping any effect that would just ruin me. Best case scenario, Frost Deadly Poison and a Dark Banisher Fu, as that card is probably the hardest thing against my deck. So it can just help buy time in sticky situations and just win you the game on the spot. We all know Cold Bloodlust wins. Why not? I have one. For our negates, 4 Dimension Magic. Best negate in the game. Pretty much that's it. It's just it taps your mana, allows you to extend defensive plays, and makes you extremely safe. We got our 4 Sensu Beans, staple in JANEMBA. Only feels bad if there's a TN, helps extend our plays and or just defend everything.
4 championship.
Oh yeah, we got the 4 champions. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
JANEMBA Flex. So now we're going to go into the one-ofs and the green package. There's only one Vegeta the Cruel. This card kind of fell off once everybody realized how to play around it to some degree. And in most situations, people will play around it. Especially you can bluff holding up a green mana and a multi on turn 2, and they'll start playing around it even though you don't have it. And all you have to do is just combo it off game 1, and people will start playing around it because they think you'll have more in hand. Just the card's not the best in the meta, but it can still shine. So, when it's good, it's great. When it's not punishing to have 4 of them in your deck. We play 1 Further Instruction Champa in case anybody is aggressive with their life totals and overcommits on a combo, and we can just hit them with a crackback and equal the game. 1 God Strike Beerus, gotta have our Secret Rare. Since I can't play any Secret Rares, this is the equivalent of 1. The card will just win you games and nobody's careful, or if they just try to check you on it and you have it. Can just give you free wins and people will respect it. Worst case, it's green mana when you need it to be. Now the main reason to play green wasn't Vegeta the Cruel, it's actually this guy, Piccolo Simulated Ability. This card is the best removal against any of the aggro or mid-range decks. It does nothing against boss monster decks, but it can just swing the tide of a game from me defending my life early to helping me catch back up in cards, removing their board pressure, which removes their card advantage in general against me, while being defensively I can pop on their turn as well. The real purpose of this card is it makes people not want to commit into combo power on any other battle card swings. So thus they'll just swing with 20k, I can combo over easily, just do a few combos and negates here and there, and just pop on the last few attacks. Or if they do try to commit a 50k, that's a free pop and less pressure while minusing cards in their hand. The card won me against so many aggro decks, as the point is to just try to stall to 4 and watch Piccolo just run away the game. Lo and behold, if you get 2 out, it's pretty much just lights out for almost any aggro deck once you get 2 rolling. That's the main deck. Now for the side deck, it's kind of polarized to some degree towards Shenron, but we did have other cards against matches across the board. People were still playing Toa and time regulator decks, so we did bring in Son Goten just to help pop a regulator early, as I don't have the 4 Vegeta the Cruels in the main to help keep him in check. It's also good against any of the Pan decks, being able to pop one of their battle cards for essentially free while comboing into one of their other cards. We play 1 Toa Dimension Leaper. It's mainly for Shenron, or in any deck without removal for it, so you can just catch them not wanting to swing at you anymore, and just it'll buy you a turn if you use it in the right situation. Play the 3rd Weskai. The card's generally good, but sometimes in matches, especially against U6, you want to see them more often, so the additional 1 helps stave off their aggro pressure. We played 2 Forced Ejection Mass Saiyans. This forced out world pieces and or more objections from the Shenron players. If you hit them with a 1 or 2 mana, it might buy you 2 turns, which is all you need. Especially if you end up milling objections, you force them to use the world pieces on more of the Whis instead of the boss monsters, which is the real motive of this card. It's just to make them use the resources to continue ramping, which minuses their deck or minuses their hand hard, while buying you time. The actual main good card against Shenron was King Yanma. Yeah, it's kind of minus to put 2 cards back into their deck, but you play him after they have awakened, since they don't have too many ways to shuffle their deck anymore unless they have a Purunga or you force a Dragon Radar activation. You start bottom decking the Secret Rares, the Kaiokens, any of their good revive targets, so you can fight through everything else. It's just mainly the Kaioken and like a Victory Strike you want away at the bottom. That way you set them up for a giant mill sequence in 1 turn after they get to that whole clump at the bottom of the deck. Played 3 Vegeta making an entrance. Just mirror hate. Once you use it correct, you just have to use it to add more cards back to your deck. Your Bojacks, your other Janembas that got milled early. That's it. It's just for mill the mirror match. And he used to be in the main, but now Resident in our sideboard as a 3 of. You bring it against other low to the ground aggro matches to help that matchup even more. Card is extremely oppressive on the play, buying tempo and pressuring their life total. Against U6, this card is essentially a removal spell as it gives them less evolved targets. And against Apes or the button deck, you just help bounce off a Goku Black or the Champas or anybody they have on board just so they attack you less and you force more actions from them on their turn. And that is it. That's the whole 65.
Well, Mr. Dehan, great performance this weekend at Nats. One of the biggest things I've always said about you is that you are consistent. What is that, 10 out of 12 tops?
The 12 events I participated in, I've topped, 10 times.
10 times, yeah. You're always a great role model to the community. You do it right, you play it right. You're one of the well-liked guys in the community. We appreciate everything you do. You represent G Sports Entertainment well. Congrats on the top 8. We always wish that it could be better, but you can't ask for any more. Other than that, we appreciate everything that you do. Obviously, G Sports Entertainment, Tim Miller at Jacksonville Game Center. Shout outs to Dusty O'Brien at KTM for always being there for us. Other than that, Dehan, we appreciate everything. You got any more shout outs you want to give?
Shout outs to the boys at Gamers. Always great to play test and bounce off ideas for. Again, shout outs to KTM, Dusty, David, Richie, all them. That's about all I can think of besides, of course, shout outs to my sponsor Elmo, being the best as he is.
All right, what's the Pro Play Tour Dallas? Is that what we're looking at?
Hopefully, I'm trying to go to Pro Play Tour Dallas. We will definitely be at PBG in January for their big invitational event. Hopefully, I'm trying to get that one. That's the big one.
Yes, sir. All right, buddy. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Bye.